Zaman has begun the game with a gold sarcophagus. Obviously an ideal opening. Banishing a Redox, allowing him to search a copy of Redox. Or, I mean, there's some other cards he could search. His Earth Rat, right? Yep, he runs Tree Dragon, so
Yep.
he could presumably put that to hand, and that's exactly what he'll be doing. So, well, let's examine the utility of the Mythic Dragons. The first time we've seen them on camera today.
But apparently they're doing fairly well if we have someone here that's 4-1 with it so far.
I'll have to take a look at the top tables maybe at the end of this round and see what else I can find. But again, you see the black and white ARG Circuit Series mats. Pretty nifty looking things. Oh, here we go. Water Dragon and Tree Dragon. Turn one. Felgrand, right?
Yep.
Felgrand.
That's definitely Felgrand.
I mean, it comes in Ghost. It's Ghost.
Yeah, it's the Ghost one, so it's Felgrand.
Yep. So
no Dragulon today.
Oh, Patrick draws his favorite card in the world. Let's see what he decides to do here. And Patrick is a very deliberate player, so he takes his time thinking, but the right amount of time to think. So he activates Upstart Goblin because, I mean, it's his favorite card in the history of the game. Looks like he picked up a Ravine. That could really open up some plays. It looked like he was monster heavy to start the turn, but that Ravine can really change things.
That definitely will change a lot of things. That's assuming that one of the face downs isn't a MST. But he does not main deck it, so never mind.
Yeah, we've had a suggestion to add the players' records somewhere around perhaps their names. Maybe we can do that heading into the next round. So we'll definitely do that heading into the next round. And
it's also noted
that Pat's
at
also at 9,000 because of the Upstart Goblin that was activated by Tahmid. So here we discarded Phalanx to search out Ducks. Now, unfortunately, Patrick has all those monsters in his hand, so he has Mistletoe. So yeah, he has a lot of cards there, but it's one of those things where Felgrand can shut him down and the double back row. I'm not sure how he'll be able to fight through this because I would really want to have some trap cards if I was him here, but of course he's only running 5, so I guess that's what happens when you only run 5. So let's see what he ends up doing. Probably summons Ducks, see what happens there. And Felgrand will be detached to negate Ducks. So of course we'll be detaching a material, targeting one face-up monster. Its effects are negated, but it's unaffected by other cards for this turn. So he's banished Ducks to summon Mistletoe, bringing back the Phalanx. So let's see if Tahmid has any response to that. Tahmid himself has a Bottomless, Compulse, 3 Reckless Greed, and Return. So
not very many responses, really.
No, actually he doesn't. So
he's got the Book of Moon.
And the Book of Moon,
well,
yeah, important, very important.
And he runs the 3 Lances.
I mean, I'm not sure what Lancing. He had the Max C, so he's not in the worst position. So he's going to set a back row. Oh, what's this?
Jackson B. Apparently, I just got told that there is a X01 Worm player right now at table 8.
Oh, that's impressive. Wow.
So we will see what we can do about seeing that on the
we'll see
feature match in the next round. So
perhaps. Let's see what happens here. I mean, he's going to have to destroy his Ravine to pop a back row, which is Reckless Greed. That's not what Patrick wanted to see. And he'll ditch Double Tempest to activate Tempest effects, searching his deck out for Blaster. I was about to say, he's probably searching Blaster. He doesn't have access to Blaster yet. Definitely something that he wants to make sure he does when he has the opportunity. And he'll ditch Blaster and, what was that, another copy of Blaster to destroy the Felgrand, dealing 2,800 points of damage with Scrap Dragon. So, I mean, he uses a lot of resources, but he has Tempest and Blaster in the graveyard. So some type of comeback with no cards in hand, though. Zaman played a Reckless Greed. You can tell that Patrick's not happy with the way he's fiddling around with his graveyard. 7-Starred Sword, discarding Title. So, yeah, Tahmid's in great shape here. He's got a bunch of cards in hand, searching off Title. And we know he has the ability to search out Mythic Water Dragon and Mythic Tree Dragon. So let's see what he ends up doing here. Takes a quick look at the graveyard, and that's very important with essential second hands with all the dragon rules. It's important to keep track of what's in your opponent's graveyard at all points in the game. I really cannot understate that.
So it's definitely a good idea to keep track of it since Patrick Hoban doesn't have a hand outside of that right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only hand to worry about. So You can tell Patrick's not particularly pleased with the position he's in. I mean, he's able to banish the Tempest next turn and summon out the Blaster and search the Ducks, those type of things. But I think Tahmid really going to find himself in good shape at the end of this turn. Let's see what ends up happening here. He's just setting back rows. This would be interesting. I mean, I'm not sure how often you want to set back rows against Scrap Dragon. It might be chainable. I mean, he's under Reckless, so if he has all bricks, Patrick might be able to make a comeback, but I'm not sure about that.
There's also just not that many back row he could set.
Oh, he immediately activates compulsory evacuation device upon draw phase to put Scrap Dragon back into the extra deck. So now Patrick's just looking at a graveyard with access to Blaster, Tempest, and one card Hin, which we were unable to make out from the draw phase. Players are telling him that he that. No, it's this. No, he used. What was it last turn? Yeah, nothing needs to be banished. It was like through Ducks and Vadriana, and he used Tempest Effect to pitch. So yeah, now he brings out the Blaster, pushes in for 2,800 points of damage, and set what looks like the Wing Blaster drew this turn. So, and he has some type of defense. Let's see if Zaman has a Reckless Greed or anything. Nope. So, Reckless is over. Adds for Gold Sarcophagus. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ducks negated Mystery. There was no Dragon Ruler summon that turn. Or Tribute, yeah, that's what I meant. Says his hand's chock full of cards, but he wasn't able to make much of an aggressive play last turn. Perhaps he set something like Return set up for this turn. So he searches out the Tree Dragon. 3 docks. See, what he'll probably end up wanting to do here is, use his water and his Tree Dragon, bait out the back row, and then flip Return. I could see that ending the game real quickly right here. Let's see here. All right, step 1.
Overlord Heliopolis.
Yep, now you can tribute cards, or is that how it works? No.
You tribute monsters, either in your hand or on the field.
Yep. Destroy any amount of cards on the field, I believe is what it is.
Yep, any amount of cards up to the number of monsters you tribute.
Yep, absolutely. So he'll be detaching and tributing some number of cards. Let's see if Patrick Hoban is willing to make a response. He's going to chain the Phoenix Wing Blast, discarding Tempest, targeting the Heretic.
One way or another, there goes the back row. So Return
just
is
like I said.
definitely a card that's going to happen, I imagine.
Yeah. No, it's not monsters. You tribute any amount of cards. That's what I thought. So that hits. I'm not sure what his other back row was. It might have been like a. Oh, it goes on top of. Yep. So that was Lance. So I'm not sure why I didn't use the Lance there. So he's going to. Yeah, he still tributes that. Okay, I see what happens there. And he Wing Blasts. Yeah, you're not allowed to tribute a spell card. So I think he had to tribute it and he just. Yeah, he didn't end up using Lance on the Heretic. And he just shows him ready. Yeah, like I said, he's gonna make an Exceed play and just show him Return, and that's it. So Return for the Different Dimension makes a appearance here in the round 6 of the ARG Circuit Series. Unfortunately, just ending the game out of nowhere. So
very quick, very efficient game.
Yep, that was unfortunate. So we looked at the side decks a bit earlier, but we can take another quick look at them.
Yep.
Patrick will probably be putting in.
I would like to note that they both side deck 6/6.
Yeah, it's been incredible. We just really haven't seen that card in the main deck as much as I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. I will not complain, that's for sure.
Tahmid might put in the lances to go against the trap cards and the field spells. The fossil dynas could definitely hurt as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just even normal summoning the fossil dyna, except it's less effective against Dragoonity since they can just search out the ducks and just have a normal summonable out to dyna.
So, I mean, Patrick O'Brien put in emptiness is really maybe
Encore
MST.
would actually be pretty hard since it's the Mythic Dragons and they focus on the Felgrand and those Exceed plays.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Exceed's Encore might actually make an appearance here.
Maybe. I mean, that's gonna be a difficult decision. He might. But I mean, it's tough. That's one of those things where it's like you side deck a card like that, worrying about one specific situation. I mean, it's possible. It looks like both players are, being honest about Sixth Sense, which is, that we're putting in our side decks.
Yep.
We will not have Sixth Sense.
I think there's actually, there might be multiple cards there. It might be Sixth Sense and Return.
I hope so. That would be nice. So it looks like Patrick's putting in, I thought there was a changes rants. I'm not sure though. Yeah, emptiness, definitely. Yeah, definitely some emptiness. That's 100%. Well, both players are siding Sixth Sense. I mean, like, if the other player is not willing to side Sixth Sense out, Patrick can just put it into his deck. So the fact that he doesn't have it in his main deck, yeah, I mean, certainly, like, the fact that it's in his side deck makes it so that he can tell people, or ask people. But,
I mean, in that case, they're both doing the same thing.
No, but even if he wasn't maining it, he'd be like, do you want to side Sixth Sense out? The other player would be like, yeah, absolutely. And all you have to do is like, well, I didn't play game 1, so, I mean, I'm just not going to put it in game 2. Like, if you want to keep it in, I'll keep it in my deck. So the other player will be like, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So did they side Return out too? I haven't been able to tell.
I couldn't really tell.
Maybe we'll just, hopefully neither player draws it and then we don't have to see Sixth Sense. Or
one thing that you
dimension.
actually might be able to shed some light on for people. People were asking why Rainbow Life for Patrick Hoban. So honestly, you were actually talking about this at another point for your deck that you ran at the World Championship qualifier.
I mean, I sided Rainbow Life in spellbooks over the national season, but that's because the deck did incremental amounts of damage, had a very difficult time actually dealing 8,000 points of damage, and the side deck, the mirror match took forever, so side deck cards like Rainbow Life are huge. Patrick, though, I'm not sure. Patrick has his own theories. I could probably have one reason, and Patrick has a completely different next level reason, so maybe we'll be able to ask him why Rainbow Life. He'll probably just be because matches take forever, but I can't say for sure. What? It says 25 minutes plus a small extension. Did you keep returning? Yeah. Okay, they're keeping returning. Yeah, so Sixth Sense isn't in though. We did see that. Return, unfortunately, is still in there. So these players are just finishing up, shuffling up, and we'll be jumping right into Game 2 here, Round 6 in Worcester, Massachusetts. We are here live. We've been here live since Round 1, and we'll continue live throughout Round 6, all the way up till Round 9 today, and our top 16 tomorrow morning. Caitlin, do you know when the top 16 starts at all tomorrow?
We have been starting at around 10, but we take top 16 much more laid back, much slower. We give people plenty of time between rounds. So it'll be going on pretty much the entire day. We'll start at around 10 or 11, and we'll still, even though it's only top 16, we'll still have matches pretty much all the way up through usually around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Awesome. So
that is Central Time that I'm using.
Oh, well, we're in East
I guess
Coast.
it is Eastern here. I guess it doesn't matter where you are as long as it's at the same time. So on East Coast time, we'll be here till we'll be doing matches probably till close to 5, maybe even 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so Patrick Hoban began the game very strong with Sword onto Blaster into Terraforming to find Dragon's Green, so he's right where he wants to be. I don't think he had any Upstart Goblins in that hand, but I think he'll be all right. ditching Blackwing Zephyros. So this is interesting. He has, of course, Garuda and Blackwing Zephyros in there. So we saw Zachary Leverett be able to do some interesting combos with both of those earlier in the day. Let's see if Patrick Hoban can do it. Looks like that crew always just brews together. Brew. They came up with the Zephyros Garuda pair this weekend. So looks like he'll be searching out ducks. Some bring Zephyros back. Deals 400 points of damage to Patrick. Yep, ditching Failings, ditching Tempest. See, this is fantastic. Being able to use Ravine multiple times in turn is just incredible. See, that's just a dimension this Dragoonie deck hasn't seen before. I mean, like Patrick was saying at the beginning of the format, Dragon Rulers did not have as strong of opening plays as Dragoonides, and it seems as though once Trigon became exposed and people started playing that with the Breeze and Ancient Fairies, all of a sudden Dragon Ruler had better first turns, and now Dragon Ruler's like, or Dragoonide Ruler, okay, well, we'll solve that issue. We'll definitely solve that issue. And it seems like they've done it. Gerudo and Blackwing Zephyros, the elite. It's interesting. Zephyros is always one of my favorite cards, even outside of just Blackwings. Such a unique effect. It's insane in Cube, if anyone's ever played that card in Cube. So let's see what he ends up deciding. Changes appearance. See, that's strong. That type of card on the first turn. It's incredible. Changes appearance. Strong. See, Patrick, better than the thought of bringing out Gaedirg. Now he'll be able to pitch, presumably. Paul Levitin keeps being curious enough to look over, but refuses to come and join. See, Gator just gives us so many. See, they can search out Garuda, which is a fascinating aspect of this deck. Like, a lot of times you'll be able to search out the Garuda in a really interesting situation. And they'll be able to access to some rank 4s. I mean, Patrick's running, what is it? Laval Chain and Queen Dragon Jin, so 2 very strong rank 4 monsters. So what did he end up doing with the way? So he just put, I'm not sure, to his hand and ditches the blaster. See, it's like a free effect because you just ditch Dragon. Oh, look at it. And Zaman just sees the writing on the wall, scoops up this game. There's no point even continuing. So that was a quick one. Power Dragon Ruler. Yeah, he scoops. Zaman just scoops it up. So we'll be going to a game 3 here. I'm curious to see if they'll honor the 6-cent siding policy that was in effect for the second game. Offers a side return out. Look at this. They don't know if they should side return out. Let's see here. All right. So look at that. He rolls a die and decides to side return out. All right. So both players are siding return and 6 cents out. Fantastic. The integrity of this game will be much better without these cards. It'd be interesting. I wonder if Zaman had a card there that he was willing to put into his deck that wasn't returned from the different dimension. That might have been why he was reluctant, like a fringe card over just having returned from in his deck. But this has been a practice that a lot of players have been doing this weekend, asking, will you side 6 cents and return out? It's really how the game should go. I mean, we've seen 6 cents in return just be absolutely detrimental to the integrity of the games we've played this weekend. And a player being well decided out, it's just really, really good sportsmanship. And it shows, like, I'd much rather have a nice, strong, real game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Than play with 6 cents in return for the different dimension. Yep, they both show each other. Yep, I've sided them out. You've sided them out. And we'll be ready to jump into the next game momentarily. So, like I said, if I was in this tournament, I would have asked every single round, will you side return 6 cents out? Yeah, these are real games. This is these players will be grinding out with Dragon Rulers and Dragoonides and Mythic Dragons and all of a sudden a return from a different dimension will just end the game. Same thing with Sixth Sense. So yeah, both players have honored their requests of siding out Return from the Different Dimension and Sixth Sense. And Tahmid is shuffling up. He'll be jumping into Game 3 momentarily. I mean, we saw Return end Game 1 swiftly. We saw Patrick Hoban just come out of nowhere and win the first game on the first turn. So there's no point in risking a third game wasted on, well, look at that, Famous Enemy sits at the table. There's no point in risking third game just being wasted over a Return or a Sixth Sense in the early turns. So this will be an interesting Game 3 between two players, obviously, who are here for a reason. These Mythic Dragons, very interesting. We saw them work quite well Game 1. Never able to get a turn in the second game, but very interesting. Very interesting. Two cards and their combinations. Yeah, these are two honorable duelists, as our video man is just written down. You know, two very honorable duelists. We will honor our Sixth Sense and Return requests. It'd be interesting to watch a game without those two cards. Major in the first game, I said, well, chances are he'll bait the back row and flip return. What happens? Baits the back row, flips return. That won't happen here. That's great. Yeah, Patrick making some last-second side decking decisions. And as we can see from overhead, he's not putting Sixth Sense or Return in his deck, which would be a non-honorable thing. Dishonorable. Unhonorable. I forget what the correct word is. Dishonorable. Yeah, I think it's dishonorable. That's what I said first. Seemed like it made sense. Hope you show the deck list for the Mythic Dragons. What do you want to know about it? I'm looking at it right now. It's in my hand. Anything specific about it? They're not stalling for now. They have over like 20 minutes or something. All right. Any questions about this deck you want me to know? Tell us the list. All of it? All of it. Okay. We get, all right, 3 Blaster, 3 Tidal, 3 Redox, 2 Mythic Tree, 2 Mythic Water, 3 Maxi, Montage, Fader, Flame Guard, 3 Lance, 3 Sword, 3 Upstart, 2 Ravine, 2 Trade-In, a Book, a Sarko, a Return, 3 Reckless, Compulse, and a Bottomless. Boom. All right, so it looks like we're jumping off right here into Game 3. Our Tahmid Zaman versus Patrick Hoban. Round 6 feature match has gone into the third game, where Tahmid looks like he'll be setting 2 back rows and passing over to Patrick, who begins the game with Terraforming. Searching out a copy of Dragon's Ravine. The standard play of the entire weekend. Play Dragon's Ravine, presumably win from there. Is Hoban playing Maxi in the main deck? No. Yes, Patrick's playing 3 in the main, 3 Maxi. So, Sword on Tempest. Yeah, very strong opening hand here for Patrick Hoban, you know. Terraforming Sword. I mean, what else more could you want? Tahmid's upset that he wasn't the one that opened the draw spells, but it's just the way the match works sometimes. So here, very deliberately deciding. See, Dragoonities, it's very important to make sure you search out with Tempest correctly. Failing, so here we go. So from here, he'll be able to ditch it off Ravine, get the Ducks, et cetera, or perhaps something better. I mean, with Zephyros and Garuda, his deck can do some crazy things that I haven't even. So just like Zachary showed us some new combos, let's see if Patrick can show us some new combos. Does he have this Typhoon, Wing Blast, Regeki Break, anything like that? That's a real decision here for Tahmid. Let's see here. Let's look at his deck list. Could he even have one? He has Typhoon, so that makes it quick, but he's not playing Wing Blast or Regeki Break at all, just double space. So it looks like he's handed those in. Now, is that enough to slow Patrick down? Let's see. He's just going to summon Ducks, target the Phalanx.
We're dropping frames. This is problems with wireless.
So he went ahead and summoned Ducks, got the Phalanx, and no response from Tahmid. So no Maxis or anything. So Patrick might be able to have a turn Maxi free. Something a lot of people have been dreaming for this weekend. Brings up Adriana. Adriana Phalanx continues on to which various level 8 will he be going into here? Looks like a Colossal Fighter. Interesting to ask him why he went into Colossal Fighter here. And he deals 2,800 points of damage to Zumu. There's no Dragon or Warriors in either player's graveyard, and he sets 2 and passes. So Tahmid didn't have the draw power, didn't have the engine the first turn. Was he able to draw into it? Was he holding it? It'll be interesting to see here. Tahmid just sits quietly and stares at that hand. I mean, he has a hand full of cards, but are they cards to do anything is the question. He's going to flip Reckless. All right, this is interesting. He definitely has something he can do, but he doesn't like it and is looking for more. That's really the only reason I could see him be activating Reckless Greed here. Dragon Intervene himself. Does Patrick ever responds to the discard of Redox? Shall it resolve, Patrick? It's your choice. He allows it to resolve, so one way or another, Tyler's going to be able to do something this turn, putting Tidal into his graveyard. And he sets at least 2, 3, 4 back rows. Oh, this is interesting. Puts Patrick to the test. Are you willing to ram your Colossal Fighter into my 4 back rows? Let's see what happens. Draws for his turn. Couldn't quite make out the draw. We see at least a Redox in his hand. And a Blaster. So we have over 800 viewers all around the world. I'm going to welcome you to Worcester, Massachusetts. If you've just jumped onto the stream, I'm Joe Giolando, sometimes brought with Kaylin Nelson, bringing you live coverage from round 1 all the way up to the finals here at the 3rd Alter Reality Games Tournament, Alter Reality Games Circuit Series. Players today are competing for over $5,000 in prize credit and has brought about 440 players from all around the world to Worcester, Massachusetts, my home state. I'd like to welcome everyone to Massachusetts and to this coverage here in Massachusetts. Well, Sword, banishing Redox, draws him 2, searches Redox. And he looks at those 4 back rows and says, I'm going to attack. How's that sound? Yeah, Dragoon Ruler versus Trap so far. Yeah, that's what this match is. So Talman has the opportunity to use his Dragon's Avine again, pitching what looks to be a Flame Bell Guard and putting what I presume is going to be a Blaster, absolute Blaster into the graveyard. That makes a ton of sense. Now he'll have Redox, Tempest, and Blaster in there. No Tempest. Title, rather. So he'll banish what appears to be a Blaster and a Title to summon Redox, walling Colossal Fighter, and presumably getting to search out additional copies of those Dragon Rulers. Let's see what Patrick says to this. Patrick's going to be in a difficult spot. I mean, he can activate something like Emptiness, but there's just so many back rows on Tahmid's side of the field. Like, what's beneficial here for him? It's tough. Let's see. Billy Brake just walked by and gave me a thumbs down. That's probably not a good sign for the Billy Brake fans out there. Well, Tahmid's searching out Water Dragon with this highlight. It's just so fascinating. The utility of these Mythic Dragons is quite impressive. I'm not sure I'd strictly say they're better, but I mean, it does give you trading access, which is a fantastic card, that's for sure. Do I not even come in for commentary? Yeah, hold on. You want to jump in for some commentary with me? Commentary with me? If you'd like to. All right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're watching it through right here. What's up, everyone? Yeah, it's Hoban's match. We got here Hoban. It's in game 3.
It's game 3?
Yeah, it's game 3. We got Billy Brake in here to do some commentary with me. Yeah, it's Tahmid. He's running the Mythic Dragons. It's been an interesting game. He's got Colossal Fighter, just a bunch of back rows. Tahmid's got 4 back rows.
Not too bad.
Yeah, he went in with Colossal Fighter and successfully attacked into the back rows, though. So, and then on Tahmid's turn, he like flipped the trade and that was set. So presumably there are a lot of just bluffs and cards along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually what it is.
Is that something you do a lot? Just set your draw spells?
Yeah, the swords.
Oh, yeah,
that's like everyone does. Yeah,
absolutely.
because at least they're doing something.
Yeah.
When you get clogged.
You ever afraid of Black Rose Dragon in the mirror match?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to like watch out for it, but most of the time, if you like, Black Rose isn't even really relevant here because they're gonna expect if they read your face sounds as being real, it's gonna be Wing Blast or
cards like that.
Yeah.
So they'll never go into that play anyway.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So.
This is game 3, right?
Yeah, it's game 3. They've sided out 6 cents and return. I mean,
So
Tahmid won with return game 1, but they've agreed to side it out the following games.
I've actually lost to both these guys.
Really? These are your 2 losses today?
No. Just in the past.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
both of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're both very good.
Yeah, they've both been playing very deliberately and whatnot. What do you think of the Mythic Dragons? I mean, Tahmid's been playing them.
I top 8'd at a regional in Denver last weekend with 1 of each, and I was going to play them up until this morning, and I ended up playing the Fossil Dine on the main deck instead.
Yeah.
And, they're solid. Like, Felgrand's a great option against everything that's not dragons. You can still make number 46 in the Dragon Mirror. Heliopolis is
insane.
Still really good.
Yeah, it gives the deck a different dimension. Of course, that other search at the end of the title, which can seem like it's very important.
Yeah, options is the biggest thing.
Options, yeah.
But there are also just more cards that lose to the same cards that the rest of your Dragon deck is going to lose to.
Yeah. So you hear about some of the interesting cards Patrick's running in the Dragoonity deck this weekend?
What? Like Garuda?
Garuda and Zephyros. What do you think about them?
Yeah. Chris Welch actually played them. He made top 8 at YCS San Mateo, played Garuda, and would always like do a Queen Dragon play at his turn 1 play with his Dragoonities, and he did really well with it in San Mateo. So when I heard they were using it, they also use the Lavavel chain with the Zephyros, which is...
Yeah, he has Lavavel chain, and Drin is the only 2 ranked 4s.
It's really cool because I was talking to Hoban about it. They can make a play where they make the Lavavel chain and an M7 when they open up with Duck's Mistletoe, and if they don't have the traps, they can send the Max C with the Lavavel chain and then add the Max C back to their hand with the M7, so they can
that's
the deck
that's nifty, yeah. You see, I tried to ask for some of the cool combos, and it's just so complicated that you just can't tell me all the cool combos with those 2 cards just out of the blue.
Yeah, I can tell you the end result.
Yeah.
What guy is that? I can't see
it's
that.
It's Gay Durg.
Oh, it's Gay
So
Durg.
it's a Colossal Fighter and a Gay Durg. Looking at Redox. Tahmid's been just kind of like walling behind Redox this last few turns.
Has he just been summoning him and bringing him out?
I mean, looking at the Colossal Fighter, he's only at 34. He's been taking a lot of damage from the Colossal Fighter attacking.
Yeah, definitely doesn't look like he's in good shape.
No, I mean, he opened up 2 set back rows and passed, and Hoban had, Terraforming and Sword and upstart, all the draw cards. So
it's one of those games.
It's one of the Teledad games where your opponent has all the D-draws and the lures, and you're just sitting with the Wing Blasts and the Torrentials and Solemns and unable to get off the run. Is that something you enjoy about this format, the amount of draw power and the ability to really...
I actually probably enjoy that a lot less than everyone else. Everyone else seems to be, I've always been, I'm not a big fan of Cards of Consonance and like cards like that. I only use Sword in my Dragon deck, but it's not as important as I think people give it credit. The Cards of Consonance is important just to dump the Dragon, I guess, but I don't think speed is as important. It's more about consistency. But I mean, I guess when you have draw cards, you're going to have consistent openings, but opening Sword, Cards of Consonance, you're down 3 cards at least.
Mm-hmm. So look at that, set Cards of Consonance. So it seems like both players are doing the exact same thing. They're going to set their straw cards and...
Very typical.
Yep. bluff that they're actually real cards. And
And the best part is when you draw into the real traps, like you can see
I know, right? Like, I mean, but Tahmid's field looks just so intimidating for back rows like this. It's like, what am I possibly going to want to do here? But there might all be draw cards for all we know. I mean, we looked at Tahmid's deck list, and he doesn't have many traps in the first place. That's like right there.
I was right. I probably shouldn't look at the deck list. I'm
Yeah, that's
still
probably good.
determined.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm not. I'm X2, but
Makes sense, yeah.
want to be fair.
Makes sense. So Fossilina wasn't doing well enough for you today?
No, I did fine every time I drew. I just when I got decked out in the stream.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was really unfortunate. And then the next
Recited
round,
return out. Everyone was curious. Just
Oh yeah,
explanation.
Going second against Evil Storms game 3. I don't want to open up with that
Yeah,
card.
makes sense. But a lot of people in the stream were like, he's got to draw a return.
And plus, I don't like winning with unfair cards. Like I always side 6 cents down. If they're not playing 6 cents return, I'm probably taking it out because I don't want to win with it against them.
It's interesting. Oh, look at this. So
Yeah,
he just shows him
nothing,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah, so
nothing.
Thomas just like, I mean, I've drawn all these, and I really can't do anything
Is
about
that
it.
a super great?
Yeah,
No,
so
okay.
so that's Patrick Hoban, victorious here, round 6 in our feature match. So
His only loss being Fire Fist. Did you know that?
really, Fire Fist.
Hoban's loss is Fire Fist.
Hopefully we can get him in for an interview and just talk about his loss to Fire Fist. Everyone keeps asking if you walked into a door today or a window or something.
Oh, because of my thing on my. No, I just have a boo boo.
Oh, yeah,
it
that
happens. The
didn't
best
happen.
of us
All right.
get cuts. All right.
Well, thank you, Alex,
Yep,
for
see
coming
you
in here
guys.
real quick. All right, guys. So Patrick Hoban moving on victorious, 5-1 now for his Dragoonides with Garuda and all those nifty cards. I was interested by that Maxi play that Billy explained. That's just fantastic. Hopefully we can get Patrick in here real quick to talk about Upstart Goblin and his deck list. So. Oh, I actually have the Worm deck list in my hand. Someone put this out for me. So the Worm deck that is undefeated with a tie has, the 3X, 3 Zangan, 2 King, 2 Castros or Cauteros, Thunder King, an Honest, a Card Cardi, 3 Maxi, a Silver Sentinel, a Dark Hole, double or triple MSD, I can't tell, 2 Duality, 2 Kaiser Coliseum, a Book of Moon, Torrential Bottomless, Scrap Iron Scarecrow, Impulse, Wing Blast, Warning, 3 Nebula, 2 Fiendish Chain, 2 Mirror Force, 2 Deep Prison. Interesting cards on the side. Double Lava Golem, double Messenger Piece, double System Down, Horn of Heaven, 3 Emptiness, double Mind Crush, double Needle Ceiling, and MSD. So for anyone who's curious about the Worm deck, that's doing well. That's it right there. So they're just finishing up, and hopefully I'll be able to bring Patrick Hoban in here for a quick interview to talk about some of the important decisions, like why he went into Colossal Fighter and perhaps some of the combos that are in his deck that are otherwise unknown to us. For example, the Maxi play that Billy explained with the M7 and whatnot. That deck sounds, well, it is not Alexander Thomas. His name is Jackson, not Alexander Thomas. Yep, Sister Down. I mean, someone's playing Worms. What can I say? Any other questions while we're here? I mean, I'm telling a lot of, if people request decks, I give you the decks. I mean, I have all of the decks. Do I know a player's deck or an interesting deck? I have all of them. I have the power. I'm not going to tell you certain players' decks if you ask, but if someone has the Worm decks we're talking about. I told you the Lava Chain deck, or the Lava deck rather. What do I think of Ghost Tricks? I've said this a lot about a lot of archetypes, but as long as Dragon Reels exist, they cannot be played good enough. Will I debate Hoban about Upstart Goblin? I'm going to talk to him about it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have a discussion. Why is 6 cents allowed? I tried to make it not allowed, but we have to make it allowed. It's just there's lots of reasons. Not worth getting into. What deck do you think is going to win? Dragon Rulers. Would I play Fire King Geartown? Probably not. Hold on just a moment. What is Hansel playing? I'm not sure. He's actually doing a video. Yeah, he already had his video done this round. So on YouTube tonight, tomorrow maybe. I'll figure it out. Hey, Pat. When you're done, do you want to just talk about the match? When you're done, we want to just talk about the match? What? When you're done, do you want to come talk about the match? Yeah. Yeah, we'll just bring Patrick Hoban in here real quick to talk about some of the decisions in his match, what he thought when Tahmid was setting all those spell trap cards, if he was confident when he attacked with the Colossal Fighter, if he thought they were all bluffs. How often he's been asking people to side out return in 6 cents. Any other questions you'd like me to ask Patrick when he comes on in? It's difficult to read the stream when he's on. So if there's any questions for Patrick about that previous match, the tournament, or anything like that, let me know now. Is Thunderpants at the event? He's vending. He's vending. Does Patrick run Spark Dragon? Yes. My favorite duelist? I don't have favorite duelists. I have lots of favorite duelists. Yes, Patrick Hoban won. My favorite rogue deck of all time or now? Let's see. Why did he make Gay Dirk so much? I'm going to ask him all the combos that Gay Dirk has. Does Patrick intend on coming to Italy? I don't know. Yeah, there's lots of things we can talk about Patrick with. Some number about 5 something, I don't know. Thoughts on Harpies. Hey, Pat. So just like last time, 1 year open, etc. Joined live in the booth with Patrick Hoban after his round 6 feature match victory. Talk about some of the interesting things that went on.
Can't hear.
Yeah, you gotta just take one ear off. Like, take one ear off, like do it like this.
The last time I did this, like the sound was in it.
Because it's this one. It's only this one.
Oh.
Okay, so.
See, you got the good one.
I do get the. Well, I'm here. I've been here for,
You're right.
So.
Whoa, it was about to come off.
Yeah, I get this. All right, Pat. Well, thank you for coming in the booth.
Yeah.
A lot of people want us to argue about Upstart Goblin Theory. Do you side it out at all?
No, I only set it out when I'm going to time.
That's the only time you side it out? Now, you really consider it part of the engine, that small incremental number part of the engine.
Yeah.
Because I talked about Upstart, and I like being able to side it out in some decks.
I don't like. Yeah, I don't want to side it out. Like I want to draw my swords, return, maxi, all those cards just consistently more often than my opponent.
All right. Well, first thing, you went into Colossal Fighter there. Game 3 was why? Why Colossal Fighter in that type of matchup?
All right, hold on. I got to think about what I had. All right, so
he opened up like double back row, and you had the opportunity to ducks or to I think it was to go into a level 8.
Yeah,
you
okay,
so
he MST'd it, right? And then he MST'd my Ravine, and I still had the ducks in hand, so I only have one set.
Yeah.
And then I saw he played Reckless game 1, and he wasn't stopping my plays, so I was just probably just Reckless. And at that point, I want to say I had a Maxi in hand. I know I at least had Compulse.
Yeah, you had some type of...
Yeah. I didn't want to make Scrap Dragon and then him go, Blaster and just crash and me either lose my Scrap Dragon or have to Compulse it. And, I don't know, I didn't want to go Scrap Dragon, lose a card to, pop a Reckless that, I thought was Reckless.
And then on the next one, he set all 4 back rows, and he went into attack with Colossal. Were you just confident that they were more Recklesses, or is it just something that you believed that the way his deck was playing that you didn't think he'd be running Mirror Forces or anything like that?
Was the next turn not the turn he went summon Redux and then passed with the Redux?
No, there was a turn where he had 4 back rows, and you attacked with the Colossal.
I don't play real traps. It's dragons.
Yeah,
They very seldomly play Mirror Force, and if it's Wing Blast, then
okay.
they just do it anyway.
So, what do you think about the return situation? Have you been asking everyone to side that out this weekend?
Absolutely.
How's that been? 50-50? Have they been siding it out, or?
He was only the second dragon I played. I played Silverman last round, and then Silverman and I sided it out. And I guess side out 6 cents, but...
What?
Oh, I asked to side out 6 cents, right? The thing is I don't actually play 6 cents.
Yeah, we noticed that. Neither did he.
Really?
Yeah, he sided it also.
He sided it also?
Yes.
I thought it was so clever for siding it. And I was just I'm going to show it to my opponent, and then
they'll be willing
ask him to side it out,
yeah.
And they'll say yes, and then...
No, I think, actually funny, I've had more people side it than main it this weekend.
Really?
A lot of people just side 6-6.
I sided it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, and that's been working well, everyone's siding that out?
Yeah, Silverman sided it out, and then,
And you won. We were unable to have that on camera, but how did that match go with Silverman?
Oh, it was crazy. It was a really good match.
That's a shame.
Game 1, Game 1 was over very quickly because he flipped 6 cents on his second turn and then drew 4. So that game.
He's a 3-4 person?
Yeah, he's 3 for 4.
Wow, he's a 3-4. That's impressive.
What do you got? You 5-6?
I haven't really. I mean, I would have to play to really. It's also situational.
Yeah.
If you really need the colors, maybe 3-4. If you have no colors and you absolutely need it, but probably 5-6 most of the time. How about you?
I'm kind of the opposite.
You're a 1-2 guy,
Well, not 1-2, but usually 3-4. Just if the game could go either way, I feel 3-4 because if I draw 3, I'm not gonna lose the game, and I'm trying to mill dragons. So
Yeah.
milling a 5 and 6 is fine. But then also, if I feel like I'm winning, like say I go first and I open 6 cents,
Yeah.
and then like I open sword or something, so I'll get a +1 for going first, and then sword and get another +1. I'll call like 2-3 in that situation, just because like if I get another +1 on top of those, then I feel like I'm just really far ahead.
Interesting. All these situations with 6 cents, it's really tough. So a lot of people asking, you go into Gay Dirg a lot. Explain some of the combos with your deck that has Gay Dirg
Oh,
involved.
God.
Billy told me about this maxi ditch add to hand
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, it's crazy. There's this combo that my friend Mark showed me that's like, all you need is Ducks, Mistletoe, and something to discard for Gator, and you end with Laval Chain, which sends a Maxi to graveyard, a Red Eyes at 28, and then a M7 that adds back the Maxi to your hand. So like you just don't even need to draw defensive cards.
So a lot of people have been asking, you go into that card a lot. Is that just real value engine in the deck, Gay Dirg?
Yeah, I mean, your Ravine's never guaranteed to stay a whole turn, but if you summon Gator, you can always just search another Ducks, and you're guaranteed to have a follow-up play the next turn. And I don't usually side Crow against Dragons, but I did against him because since he was playing the Mythic Dragons, I felt like he could be cutting himself off from colors more often, and so like Crow just might hit more in that deck.
So I heard your one loss today was to Fire Fist? Like,
Yeah.
how in the world have that happened?
I don't know. He stopped my plays game 3, and like I just didn't get much going, and it ended up being I had no cards in hand. The only dragon I had was a Blaster on field. I had a Red Eyes on field, and I had a Ducks on the field, and I had a Ravine and like no cards in hand. And he ended up making like the one that bounces to my deck.
Oh yeah.
So he bounced the Red Eyes and the Blaster, and then attacked over Ducks, did some damage with some other stuff, and then Wing Blasted my Ravine back on top, so I drew up no cards in hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so I just got destroyed that game.
Okay, all right, I understand. Of all the decks to lose to today, I bet you weren't expecting that one, right?
I played a lot of like anti-meta decks. I played 2 Evil Swarm and a Constellar.
Jeez, how did those go? Evil Storm must be...
They're fine. Like, the first Evil Swarm, he won game 1, which, I mean, that's usually how the matchup goes, and then you side, and it gets better. And I won the other 2 games, and then against the other Evil Swarm, he just didn't open Ophion either game, and it was just like a very quick match.
So a lot of people ask, why are you not maining 6 cents?
Just because like with only 3 elements in the deck, you just don't get as much value. Like milling isn't very good. Like I don't want. First of all, I don't want the 1/3 chance that it's just a -1 if I roll 1/2. But also, even if I mill 5 and 6, then I might get like 1 dragon, but like it's not very optimal. And then like I don't want to call 5/6 because then it's just like a -2/3 of the time. So
Interesting.
I don't feel like you get that much value out of it.
So are you ever putting it in your deck this weekend, or is it literally there just to side out?
Yeah, I'm never siding in. It's just to ask people to side out.
Interesting. Well, I'm not sure I have any more. Some people ask if you're going to Italy. Is that?
I am going.
So
to Italy.
he'll be in Italy. Did you have a question? You said?
Well, you're talking about some of the combos.
Oh, there's more.
Oh no. You're about to see my ignorance. See, I only added the Zephyros and the Garuda and the Red Eyes on Thursday. I was actually pretty sure I was just going to play regular dragons, but then I had because with Trigon, like before Dragunities had the better first turn plays, where like dragons just couldn't keep up.
Yeah,
But then when they had a Trigon, like they had good first turn plays too. So I just wanted better first turn plays. So I wanted to add the Garuda and all that stuff. And when we tested like 30 something games just against dragons, it was working really well. So I just decided to play it. But because I've only played it since Thursday, there are very, very few combos I know. I know like 1 Ducks Mistletoe combo. I know like 1 Ducks with a Tempest Engrave, and I know the like add Maxi to hand combo. And like game 2, I'm so glad he scooped. You would have just like seen my like complete ignorance.
You would just tried your best, but like
yeah,
we're gonna go with it.
Some kind of field at the end of it, but
kind of like wind-ups for like when it gets really complicated with 3 magicians and like lots of rats banished here, and like, well, my field probably well enough that.
Like if I continue playing the engine, I'll learn the combos, but. I don't know.
Have you learned anything? Is like, oh wow, that was great today.
Yeah, having only played it 2 days, and oh man, and I had like a 15-page paper due on Friday. So like one of the 2 days, I was just like doing that the entire day.
Yeah. Have you had a play today where you've been like, wow, look what I just accomplished. This is great. I wonder
Yeah,
if am I going to be able to repeat this?
I'm
Like I
always
just,
like surprised at the kind of fields I can end with. It's kind of cool.
you're just like, wow, I bounced my field spell.
There was
and
one play where Silverman ended with like double dandelion token.
he's playing
and-
regular dragons with dandelion.
Yes. And he ended with double dandelion, and he was at 8,000. I just OTK'd him through both of them.
jeez.
It was crazy. It was like Scrap Dragon pop itself, and then like Red Eyes bring back the Scrap Dragon and pop the other token, and then more stuff. That was crazy.
That's a shame. We're going to have that on camera. Well, congratulations. Thank you for coming in here. Thank
no
you.
problem.
Good luck for the rest of the tournament.